Well, Corvus is currently available for testing on the PTS. As always, I hopped on to give our newest character a test run. Now, I do want to say that a lot of people thought Corvus was going to be pretty busted, but while I was playing him, nothing about him really stuck out as busted. In all honesty, he feels like one of the more balanced characters we've gotten in a long time, at least from the outset. What made people think he was going to be busted was his gun's DPS and his Dark Gifts talent. His gun, while putting out good DPS, doesn't really kill all that fast. It's reasonably fast for a support, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't really feel all that crazy when you get it into your hands and use it in a real game. I also never really saw any Corvuses with a high damage number at the end of the game. Even I couldn't get a relatively high number while also focusing on keeping my team up. If you ignore healing and fully focus on attacking, then you can probably rack up a pretty high total, but that's normally not going to happen if you're attempting to consistently heal your team as well. Not saying it can't happen, but it'll be pretty rare. The other thing was of course his Dark Gifts talent. It looks really powerful on paper because it's a lot of buffs stacked onto one target, so people will think it's like a stacked Luminary in a way, but in reality it isn't all that crazy. Luminary's buff is still way more impactful than all of these buffs put together, and a Luminary can be placed on up to 3 different targets, while Dark Gifts can only ever exist on one target at a time. You can add another buff to your mark with his Grand Design card, and pairing that with Dark Gifts is really good, but again, it's not as impactful as it is on paper. Dark Gifts is also pretty difficult to keep a double tank comp up with. The talent fits best in a double support comp if anything. Put a DPS support with Corvus, and between the two of you, you have enough healing to sustain 2 tanks, while also having enough DPS to keep up with the enemy team. And with a second support by your side, you can focus on keeping your mark on your desired target, whoever that may be. It'll always depend on the comp. Sometimes you'll want it on a tank like Rom, while other times you'll want it on a DPS carry like Leon. Really depends on what characters you have and who makes use of the buffs the most. If you have a single tank comp, then Corvus with Dark Gifts can probably keep them up by himself, as long as he buys Chronos 2 to reduce his right-click heal cooldown from 4 to 3 seconds. He also may not be able to keep his mark on his desired target at all times, and that's because a big thing that allows him to sustain a team is him moving his mark around to heal targets that he doesn't have line of sight on. Like, let's say your Barrack is behind a wall weak, and you only have LOS on your full health Maeve who currently has the mark. You take the mark from her and put it on Barrack, and then you pop the heal on Maeve anyway, so Barrack can receive that 55%. Doing that effectively is what's going to separate a good Corvus from an average one. Knowing how to fully utilize your mark in tandem with your heal is very important, and it also brings a very nice skill gap to the character, and that's always really nice. Now I also do want to talk about how he can keep a double tank comp up on his own, and that's with his Spreading Influence talent. Since this gives you 2 marks, you can heal 3 allies at once every time. Yes, the mark healing does go down from 55% to 40%, but that isn't too big of a deal because you're still putting out more overall healing to your team, and that makes sustaining 2 tanks a lot easier. What I said earlier about moving your mark around is even more important with this talent, since you do have 2 of them. I'm really excited to see Corvus players practice and master this. Corvus may not be very mechanically demanding, but he does require great game sense, and to me that's even more impressive than mechanical skill. Now how about a build? It's still early, so this build isn't going to be perfect, and it'll likely be messed with as time goes on, but this is what I was using and it was working out pretty well. So if you want a starter build recommendation, here it is. First is Grand Design 5. Giving your target lifesteal is already really nice, but the fact that you also get the healing they receive from their lifesteal is what sets this card apart. Keep in mind that this card does dictate who you want your mark on, at least when you're not at full health. If you have it on an EV or a Terminus, you aren't going to get a lot of lifesteal, but if you have it on something like a Koga or a Victor, you're going to be getting a ton of lifesteal from them, since their DPS is way more reliable and consistent. Another card you want is the Price of Salvation 4. This is to up your self-sustain. Compared to other healers, this self-sustain card is kind of weak, but pairing it with Grand Design makes it good. You can't fully rely on only Grand Design or Price of Salvation on their own. You kinda do need both of them to get good and reliable self-sustain. I say run Price of Salvation at 4 because 5 is a bit overkill when you pair the 2 cards together. Next is Shadow Tribunal 4. This gives more healing to your marked target, and more healing is always great. It also goes a long way towards helping you keep a team up on your own. Part of me is even considering running Price of Salvation at 3 and this card at 5. Then for fillers, I think some good ones are Battle Ready and Magistrate's Might. If you're running Spreading Influence, then New Resolve is a pretty good filler card since you'll be constantly moving your marks around. But if you're running Dark Gifts, you'll ideally be in a 2 support comp when running that talent, and your mark will almost always be on one target, so you won't really get a whole lot of value out of this card. Anyway, that's what I recommend, and that build does work for both Dark Gifts and Spreading Influence, by the way. Also, if you guys have any builds that you've been messing with and making work, then feel free to leave them in the comments below. Now I haven't talked about his other talent yet, Stunning Visage, and that's mainly because I haven't used it. I focused on learning more about his healing side, since that's the side most people are gonna focus on. I do think the talent could possibly let flank Corvus be a thing, but probably not in any serious setting. Might end up being more of a fun mess around thing. Speaking of his teleport, I want to talk about that too. It's really good for repositioning yourself, but it isn't too great as an escape tool since it does have a delay. When you want to escape from somebody, you normally have to go the full distance that the teleport will take you, but first you have to wait for the teleport orb to go the full distance before you can go the full distance. And this is enough time for some characters to burst you down and kill you. So if somebody bursty starts attacking you, you likely won't make it out alive. However, if you see them coming and use it before they start attacking you, you'll be fine. As for his ultimate, it isn't anything too crazy. It's an average ult. I know a lot of people in my last Corvus video disagreed with that, but that did end up being the case. The ultimate is great for locking down an area and telling enemies they can't stand there, but that's mainly it. Most characters in the game have movement abilities, so the second that ult hits them, they're going to use their movement ability to instantly get out of it. It's rare that enemies will get stuck in the ult for very long. It'll only really happen if you combo ult with somebody, or it's overtime and they have to stand in it because they have to stand on the point. Now of course, some characters don't have movement abilities, so they would suffer from the ultimate a lot more. Also, flying up with the ultimate is hazardous. Yes, you do have 60% DR, but that DR only keeps you alive if you quickly fly up, use the ult, and fall back down. If you stay up there floating, you're gonna get focus fired and killed since you're an easy target. 60% DR won't save you from focus fire. It's also really difficult to use the ultimate indoors. You're mainly only going to use it outdoors or in open areas. Again, like I said in the last video though, it's good that his ultimate isn't crazy. Furia has both a powerful base kit and a powerful ult, and we've seen what Furia can be like. Corvus having a powerful base kit and a powerful ult on top of that would lead to a similar place. But yeah, as far as how fun Corvus is, I honestly think he's a lot of fun. You have multiple ways to impact the game, and there's definitely a learning curve for you to work through, so he definitely feels pretty rewarding. Also, when playing Corvus, you have this.
I have the power of the Abyss and the Magistrate on my side! Ah!
What a great reference. That's one of his joke lines, by the way. I almost couldn't believe it was real when I heard it. It's so funny. Anyway, what do you guys think about Corvus? Feel free to let me know in the comments below. And that's pretty much it, guys. I want to thank you all for watching. I very much appreciate it, and I'm gonna see you guys later. Bye.